station. And don't forget, you can watch us. We are on your computer or your mobile device if you'll just take your browser over to supertalktv.com. And today we're going to hear from Change Skate Shop owner Matt Robinson out of Tupelo. You may have heard that name. We've actually talked about this already on Good Things. I had to get him on. They recently won funds to help renovate and expand their skate park there in Tupelo, which I think is a good thing. So welcome, Matt.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
And congratulations. And I know I'm saying congratulations to you, but I think the coolest part of this whole story, Matt, was just the groundswell of support that the Tupelo greater community showed for your skate shop and sort of the vision that you all proposed if you had won the funds. So let's take it back to how this all started. What I guess competition, is that the way to say it, or challenge or whatever it may be that you went up for Tupelo?
Yeah, so I couldn't agree with you more. And so we were part of a competition that was put on by Red Bull, the multinational corporation energy drink company. And they took over the New Orleans airport, the old Louis Armstrong International Airport terminal, which is still attached to a functioning airstrip, but it's not being used. They shoot a lot of movies in there and that kind of thing, and so they built 5 skateboard parks inside of this airport terminal, and they invited 10 skateboard shops, local skateboard shops that are involved in their culture, right, locally, and invited us to all bring a team down there, and they said, hey, you can skate on anything. You can put a ramp up against the ticket counter, jump up there, grind across it. You can jump over the baggage claim. You can, whatever you want to do. And we did. And so 5 skaters and 1 filmer, and we were tasked over the course of 2 days with our team, could land as many tricks as they could do in the most creative way that they could interact with their environment there in that airport, which has just unbelievably smooth floors, as I'm sure you're all familiar with. Just a great place to ride a skateboard, but it's not really somewhere where they like you to ride a skateboard under most conditions. So we made a little 90-second edit and put it up on redbull.com. And the community, just like as you've already alluded to, they got behind it in such a massive way. And so, giving all due respect to the skateboarders who are on our team and who actually accomplished all of these feats of strength and balance, the community all across, not just Tupelo, all across Mississippi, and even going into Tennessee and Alabama, and people calling us from all over the country really saying, hey, this is a David and Goliath story, and we're here for it. We're voting for you guys every day. And so we were able to take the top spot from other cities in the running like Denver, Colorado, and Houston, Texas, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and New Orleans. So cities with exponentially the amount of population that we have here, even in all of North Mississippi, and yet we, at the end of the vote, wound up with about 60% of the vote.
Which I think is just incredible, right? It's a little bit of the underdog, but it also showed that Mississippi obviously has at least an interest in skate culture or bringing it to Mississippi. I'll be honest, Matt, when I think of like skating communities or I guess a skate culture, Mississippi's not really, coming to the top of that list for me, just because I guess I'm not within that, own community. But I'm recognizing that more and more people are getting interested in it. And if they have a safe and organized place to sort of do it, then it opens more, I guess, kids and probably young adults to getting out there and having some fun. When did you open up Change Skate Shop there in Tupelo? How long have you been in the Tupelo community?
Yeah, so I've been in the Tupelo community my whole life. I graduated from high school here in '94, and by mid-'96, I had opened the skateboard shop here with a friend. We were 19, and, it's just... this is the culture that I've been part of since the mid-'80s, and all of us, whether you are a professional skateboarder or you're a filmer or you work for one of the brands as a sales rep or you own a shop, what you're really trying to do is stay connected to this thing that you love so much. And, of course, skateboarding, the actual physical act of riding a skateboard is at the center of it. But against skateboarding, you have the art culture and you could say streetwear and fashion culture that is a big part of it, the music that's a big part of it, travel. Skateboarding is an urban phenomenon. You have to have concrete. You can't really skateboard on a gravel road. So, you skate all the concrete in your city and you realize, whoa, they have other cities that we could go to. We could go see what their concrete's like. And so, it lends itself to a really wide global community of people that, we know how to get in touch with each other. And that's generally done through the local skate shops.
I know you have changed skate shop there in Tupelo. What would you say? I know you probably don't know every single one of them. Maybe you do. It is a real small, tight-knit community. Are there other prominent skate shops throughout the state that maybe we're just, sleeping on?
Yeah, so across the state, there are a handful of people that have been involved in the culture for a long, long time. There's a shop called Brazen down in Hattiesburg, and the proprietor, Mr. Bubba D, he's been involved in the culture for a long time. He has raised a lot of generations of skater kids, and he's still going after it. There are new skateboard shops that are opening, and they're opening around skateboard parks. So, for instance, I want to say Madison and, Meridian, several other smaller towns. I've had people get in touch with me about, hey, we want to do what you're doing in Tupelo. We want to, not only sell skateboards and provide that, because honestly, the internet can get you a skateboard, in your hand by tomorrow afternoon. But what the internet can't do is care about the culture and have beginner workshops and, host art shows and concerts and that kind of thing. So it's really more of a cultural hub than it is just a sporting goods store.
Matt,
so,
for those
people
of us
have been getting in touch with me about how can I get started in that.
Oh, I love that. I'd love to see it spring up. I think kids should be able to have the opportunity to try all different kinds of physical activity or hobbies, and even, young adults who may want to try it for the first time. I'm sure there comes an age where maybe skateboarding isn't safe to start. I don't know. It does seem like maybe the knee pads should need to get a little thicker if you're going to do it as the decades get older. But hey, you only live once. But Matt, how would you describe a skate park? Because I feel like someone's listening to good things and they're trying to wrap their brain around what a skate park is. So how do you kind of explain that to someone?
Well, so skateboarding, as I said already, is a distinctly urban activity because you have to have concrete. Skateboarding is really just surfing on concrete. And, there's this great quote from the 70s when skateboarding was really starting to grow out of that Southern California soil, that 200 years of innovation and progression in America had unwittingly created a massive cement playground. And it was the minds of 12-year-olds on skateboards who saw and unlocked that potential. So skateboarders interact with our environment in a much different way than I suppose most people would. We see if you walk up to a handrail, as you're going up a stair set, say you're going into a local bank or somewhere and you have to walk up a stair set, well, here's a handrail that you may or may not use to steady yourself as you go up. Well, a handrail is a huge part of skateboarding. That's one of the soccer fields or, baseball diamonds for us. That's where we go to practice our tricks, to ollie or to jump up onto that handrail and then slide or grind part of the skateboard down it and land and roll away unscathed. That's the idea, at least. And, stairs, ledges, natural embankments, drainage ditches, all of these things are things that I think your average person would just go by without taking notice of. And for us, as I've said already, this could be our Yankee Stadium. This could be a very important part of our city to us because it's where we interact with our skateboards. Now, most of those things exist.
Hey, Matt, can you hang on with us? We got a break. Can you come back with us? We got more with Matt.
Absolutely.
He's the owner of Change
when we get back.
Skate Shop there in Tupelo. Just won money from Red Bull to sort of renovate their playground there. Mississippi radio station. If you're into skating, then you need to hit up your local skate shop. We've got Matt Robertson. He's the owner of Change Skate Shop in Tupelo. They recently won funds to help renovate and expand their skate park. I called it your playground, which was probably true, Matt, but the more formal word would be a skate park.
Absolutely.
And you were explaining how, those that enjoy skateboarding look at their surroundings, particularly the concrete one, completely different than we do. But sometimes there's a more organized or, I guess, formalized place for them to come and play and try their tricks. So is that what you guys will be using the funds for and creating there in Tupelo?
Yeah, that's correct. So I was just explaining that the kinds of obstacles that we interact with in an urban environment, whether it's curbs or stair sets or handrails or in natural embankments, that's our soccer field. That's where we do our thing. And so the problem is that most of the time those are privately owned. And so having a place, a skateboard park, is ideally a free public space made of concrete where all of those different obstacles that occur naturally in the wild, so to speak, are created in a place where kids are encouraged to go. It's a safe environment where families can be, and kids and really kids of all ages can engage in skateboarding. And
so where will this be in Tupelo?
Well, that's a great question. We have a wonderful skateboard park that we've just finished renovating called Warner Park, and it's the issue was we had a beginner level park, and our Park and Rec and our Convention and Visitors Bureau agreed that in order to bring in some very profitable competitions and tournaments, that sort of thing, from out of towners, that they wanted to upgrade that skate park to an intermediate advanced level skate park where we could bring in professionals for demonstrations and tournaments. Well, we've accomplished that with their help, and now we don't have a beginner skate park. So when we were given this prize by Red Bull, it was given to the team, and the team could have done anything they wanted to do with it, but we unanimously thought, the community has won this for us. Let's give it back to the community. So we're working with the city planner and the Convention and Visitors Bureau, downtown Main Street, and Parks and Rec to create a beginner skateboard area, which we hope will be the first of many in all the different areas of Tupelo, because most kids don't have access to transportation when they're 8 years old. So, having something in the neighborhood, having somewhere that families can walk to and they can engage in this activity is really the ultimate goal. Now, where that first one is going to land, I'm really not at liberty to say yet, because things can change, right? Things move at the speed of government sometimes. And I'd hate to say that it's going to be one place and then find out that it'll be another, but it will be in a new part of town in Tupelo where there will be a beginner-friendly skate space.
I love that, and that just means you'll have to come back, Matt, and share when y'all decide exactly when to break ground and make that sort of happen. I would love to see these pop up all over. I know there's parents who cringe when you say that, me even being one, but I've got a young daughter who's been bugging me for a skateboard for a couple years now. We just haven't had the place or the space to do it. So to those parents that sort of look at it automatically as, a bobo board or whatever they want to call it, right? What can skateboarding, though, do for maybe that, kid that needs to be stimulated or always wants to try new, sort of things? What positive things can a skateboard bring, certain kids?
Yeah, I'll try to answer that in two ways as quickly as possible. One is the danger of skateboarding is a bit overstated. You do skin your knees, you do skin your elbows, but in terms of things that you go to the doctor for, right? These are urgent care visits. You have football and soccer as number one and number two. Keep going down the different organized team sports where there's contact. You get down to number 16 and you have volleyball, and skateboarding is number 17. So I like to tell parents, skateboarding, we're more safe than volleyball. Now, again, you may scratch your elbows, you may scratch your knees a little, but that's just to be expected. Also, in terms of the interest, it's been documented that more kids have ridden skateboards for about the last decade than have played baseball. This is an individual sport. You don't need a team of 8 or 10 or 12 other people to do this. This is something where you compete with yourself. There's really no wrong way to do it. You're playing with a toy. You can just use it as a vehicle for self-expression. And I think that's a huge part of the positive. It's an avenue for self-expression It's an avenue for movement, to just get up and move around and, sweat a little and enjoy being outside. It's also a place where when you go to a public park, you meet your neighbors and you find out like, oh, all these people are, they may have grown up different from me, that we've had different experiences, but really we're all the same, and we want the same things out of life. And I think that's an incredibly positive thing. And skateboarding is also, it has been for me at least, it was the vehicle that introduced me to art and travel and music and so many other things that have shaped my life now as a almost 47-year-old. And so, it can be a great introduction to a lot of the really good things in life.
It can also complement them if they're in other sports, or just giving them, an outlet to not be on their devices all the time. If you live in a neighborhood, a skateboard with the right padding, a helmet, and let them, have some fun on the sidewalk. I think the curiosity that comes with trying to surprise yourself by learning new things is a beautiful thing that's often missed out because we're afraid that, they may get hurt, which, don't do dumb things. But in the beginning, I feel like you're right. It's probably a little bit more safer than we give it credit for. I feel like skating's just really taking a turn. Like, I feel like this has built some momentum, Matt. You're right. The entire state got behind voting for you guys. We even shared it in the Good Things Facebook group, and the excitement for that. So what's it like at the skate shop? How excited are you guys just to have people like us interested in skating maybe for the first time?
Yeah, I really can't overstate it. It's amazing. And, I'm learning to be a gracious winner. I've actually been picked up by the police for skateboarding a couple of times when I was younger. I obviously wasn't charged with anything because there was no crime, but it was just like, hey, you kids have got to be up to something bad out here. We don't understand what you're doing in this parking lot at night. And so, as people tend to fear what they don't understand, and I understand that. And as skateboarding has become more and more part of just the popular culture of America, it's woven itself into the fabric of America, and it's actually an Olympic sport now. So skateboarders are not treated like, juvenile delinquents as much anymore. And to have that swing in my lifetime, to have, we had the mayor of Tupelo get in touch to come out and do a spot for us. We have the support of so many great public servants in our city that we get to work with. And, guys like y'all that, they just see us as, hey, these are people who care about being involved in young people's lives and getting them active and giving them a good outlet for self-expression. And, I love it. I'm glad that I lived to see it.
So where can we keep up with Change Skate Shop? I know you mentioned a team. I'm sure you guys compete. So how can we follow you guys or root for you, or just keep updated with what you got going on?
Sure. So I'd say two things. One is all of our social media is Change Skate. That's Instagram is @ChangeSkate. Facebook is the same way. And then every September around Labor Day weekend, we throw a big party here in Tupelo called the Change Festival. Last year was the first. This one will be the second annual, and that'll be September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in Tupelo. Again, we work with the city. We shut down our main street right out in front of Tupelo Hardware where Elvis bought his first guitar. We fill the road up with big ramps. We invite skateboarders from as far as, Atlanta to Austin to New Orleans to Nashville. All of the teams come here, and we just fill up the road with not only skateboarding, but we bring in artists, we bring in filmmakers, we bring in musicians and bands, and we just have a big 3-day celebration of the culture. And so if you're remotely looking for something interesting to do on Labor Day weekend, come to Tupelo. We've got some great hotel packages, and we'd love to have you.
That sounds like so much fun, Matt. So much fun. And I'm sure if parents have a question about ordering a skate or anything like that, you mentioned online, can they get in touch with you, and do you ship?
They sure can, yeah. ChangeSkate.com. We're a one-day ship anywhere in the state of Mississippi and beyond. We're not Amazon. Sometimes we take a weekend off, but we would absolutely love to, work with you in the whole process. Any questions that you guys have along the way as you sort of begin the skateboarding journey in your family, we're here to help point you in the right direction.
Well, congratulations again, Matt, not just to you, but to the whole Change Skate Shop family and everyone who helped vote to make this possible. I feel like if Rhino and I come visit, Tupelo's his hometown, we're going to need that beginner skate park to be finished. But, we'll come support and watch for sure. But we look forward to chatting with you again, Matt.
Hey, that's great. I'll put you with my instructor, Bruce Ballard. He will take good care of you guys.
All right, you guys stick with us. We got more for you.